Today in Jesus' journey to the cross and resurrection, it's Wednesday. Most Bible scholars look at this day of His week as a day of rest, a quiet day for Jesus. Possibly the physical roller coaster of emotion in the days preceding Wednesday drove Jesus into quietness and solitude, much like we find where that Jesus was driven into the wilderness for 40 days. Jesus on many occasions would remove himself from the hustle and the bustle of ministry to steal away with the Father. How much more do you and I need that kind of communion? Every pastor, ministry leader, caregiver, and every disciple of Christ needs to learn from Jesus' example of intimacy with the Father, and for us, it is through the power of Holy Spirit. The Scriptures reveal that Jesus continually withdrew from people, from his daily life activities and the demands of ministry in order to be alone with the Father and to pray, commune, to have conversation with the Father. His solitude and silence is a significant theme in the Gospels. His ongoing intimate relationship with his Abba was the source of his compassion, wisdom, and power that we see on every page of the gospel. The priority of Jesus' solitude and silence is everywhere in the Gospels. It's how he began his ministry. It's how he made important decisions. It's how he dealt with troubling emotions of grief and sorrow. It's how he dealt with the constant demands of ministry and cared for his own soul. It's how he taught his disciples. It's how he prepared himself for essential ministry events. It's how he prepared for his death on the cross. And today, Jesus invites us to join him in his solitude so we can know Abba, Father, and share that life that he's pouring into us with others. I want to encourage you, take some time today and work your way through the Gospel of Mark and identify the passages that might talk about Jesus' solitude, Jesus withdrawing himself. You will be enriched as I have been enriched as I've worked my way through just the Gospel of Mark. Mark 1:12 says, "And once the Spirit sent Jesus out into the desert, and he was in the desert 40 days, tempted of the devil with wild animals, and the angels attended to him." Mark 1:16, Jesus walked beside the Sea of Galilee by himself. Mark 1:35, very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up, left the house, and went out to a solitary place where he prayed. Mark 1:45, despite Jesus' plea that his miracles be kept secret, the news about him spread all the more. So the crowds of people came to hear him, and they were healed of their sicknesses. But Jesus often withdrew to a lonely place and prayed. Mark 2:23, one Sabbath, Jesus was going to the grain fields to pray, and the disciples followed. Mark 3:7, Jesus withdrew with his disciples to the lake. He withdrew to the lake. He went to the mountains. He went to the fields. Work your way through the Gospel of Mark and find yourself today in solitude with him.